You, sir, are the shield of oil companies. A shield of oil companies? I don't even own a gas car. I got an electric car. I don't work for any oil company. Sorry, dude. Congratulations at debunking these pesky free energy claims. Pesky free. Thank you guys for watching. Absolutely. It's a pleasure for me. Can you explain? I'm reading my comments. And my emails. This one, can you explain, in simple terms, the difference between analog and digital in a circuit? Without math. I can do that for sure. Actually, let's do it now. All right, can you explain a function without any equations or mathematics and a handful of minutes? I guess we can. I want you guys to take some copper wire or any conductor and a battery. Now, a battery is a form, of course, of a form of energy. Like this battery generates some energy. The way that a battery generates some energy, it's through a chemical reaction. Obviously, this chemical reaction does not last forever. It lasts until the elements will wear off. So during this chemical reaction, there is some polarization going on here. We got some ionization, polarization, where the positive ion takes one side of this canister and the negative ion takes the other side. So you have effective polarization. Now, if we take our copper wire and we close the circuit, we do create already a circuit where our wire is our load or simple resistor. Now, we have a potential. We have a potential in this battery, a potential to do some work. The difference of potential between the positive and the negative side in this particular case is 1.5 volts. Now we are going to take this 1.5 volts and we apply it to our copper cable. Now whenever you apply some kinetic energy to these electrons start moving all over the place. They really don't go too far. They merely drift within their orbit. That's what we call electron drifting. But we do add some kinetic energy. That's a form of energy. That is what creates an electrical charge moving through the conductor. Obviously, our electrical current prefers to take the least path of resistance. So whenever it takes one direction, only one direction, it prefers to travel inside the conductor, of course, because outside air offers too much resistance. Yes, so that's about DC. We call it DC. We consider our electrical current or phenomenon over time. That's our observation. So yes, when it takes only one direction, we call it DC current, direct current. We'll actually, if we take this battery and we keep reversing it, up and down, we reverse the polarization of this resistor. So look at my fingers. My fingers are the magnetic field, the magnetic flux you create around this conductor. With my thumb is the direction of the charge. So you can actually reverse it multiple times in a second, and that's how we call hertz, frequency, from 1.5, 1.4, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1, and so until you fully reverse the polarity many times a second. Now, there is energy loss, and no matter if you have AC or DC, AC creates what's called the skin effect around our conductor, especially high frequency, high voltage. So energy loss, it's always there. With actually our DC, we have internal resistance of components. That's another form of energy loss. However, our initial question was, what's the difference between digital and analog in its fundamentals? Well, take a look at the waveform to begin with. We quickly notice that for each point of our variable x, we have a corresponding point of our variable y-axis. There is no missing point. There is always a corresponding point. Check this out. There is no dead spot. Well, actually, our digital one here, it's not 1, it's not 0, it's not +1, it's not -1. There is a time when there is a dead spot right there. It's not on, it's not off. And this is a very unique characteristic that must be taken in consideration whenever you do circuitry. Now, this is a square wave that you can turn into a pulse according to the duty cycle, but that's not the point. What I want to mention and highlight is that every single of these waveform, it's got their own characteristics. You cannot mix match it, even like a trapezoidal one. Whenever you try to build an amplifier or a filter, high pass, low pass, band pass, you realize that on the both plot, this waveform has its own characteristics. Same for the tooth saw and so on. So yes, there is always energy loss, and this is an introduction to our next free energy video. Let's go take a look.
Okay, this is my prototype. It weighs about 2¼ pounds.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Nice and light.
Okay.
Not bad. Yeah.
Now this is my plates. Here, you see these plates?
Uh-huh.
You see here? Now I'll
Yes.
show you the plates. These are my spares, and this is, first of all, just to show the power of this thing. Now this battery, well, you're a battery man, so you know how heavy these things are. This
do.
weighs 36 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I put it on the charger this morning, and I brought it up to, it's full charge. You'll see it come up to full charge. And I don't know if you're familiar with lights very well, but this is a helicopter light.
Okay.
Okay. Now, yeah. Now this in here, it's 12 volt, 800
Lots.
watts. So it's pretty heavy. Now, what I did was I took I burned out the 12 volt bulb, and all I had was a 24.
Okay.
So I put a 24 in there.
Okay.
So I put a 24 in there.
Okay.
So I put a 24 in there instead.
Okay.
This thing lined up. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, now let's get my. Where's my? Yeah, here it is. Okay.
Understood.
Okay. And now we'll put it on the battery. Now that's 36 pounds of power there. That's 36 pounds of power there. That's 36 pounds of power there.
Right.
The light won't light up.
Okay.
It won't, not enough amperage.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's go to my good old system here now. Now the plates, these plates are not activated because they're not plugged in. You see, this system right here is a frequency generator.
Okay.
I generate 5 different frequencies.
Yeah.
This is the code right here, which I keep covered up.
Okay.
Okay, I can scramble the code. I have different ways of keeping my security here.
Sure.
Okay, but now when I'm not sending any signal, now that's a solid gold 24 karat wire.
Yeah.
So that it's perfect. There's no signal going to the plates.
All right.
So we can go directly back here off of this comes directly off the plates here. You can see. Take it over there. Nothing.
Yeah, you want me to
Yeah.
hold
Okay.
it up for?
Yeah, well let's
Okay.
put it here now.
Sure.
Now what do you got?
Yep.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, now
Okay.
let's start sending those 5 frequencies to the board.
Okay.
They alternate at different time cycles.
Okay.
As soon as I activate the plates, we free the electrons. As soon as I activate the plates, we free the electrons. As soon as I activate the plates, we free the electrons. As soon as I activate the plates, we free the electrons.
We're starting to get some voltage.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, here's the thing that's different.
Okay.
This, explaining this the easiest way for a person that don't have knowledge, of course, you know, but people without knowledge, I say it's like AC, DC. DC, you have to have real heavy wire. AC, you can have real small wires. It's the alternating current.
Okay.
Well, this here is, it acts like DC and it acts like AC.
Yeah.
It's not either one. This here is, it acts like DC and it acts like AC.
Yeah.
It's not either one. This here is, it acts like DC and it acts like AC.
Yeah.
It's not either one. Now, let's plug it in. Now we couldn't run it off the battery. But we run it off of this.
Yep.
And look at the weight compared. Now,
Oh, yeah.
is there any knowledge that you have of any battery in the world that can run this light and weigh only a couple pounds? And remember, most of it's the case and stuff too.
Yep.
There is no such battery. If there was, my friend, you'd be manufacturing them, selling them to Tesla. And there is no such battery. If there was, my friend, you'd be manufacturing them, selling them to Tesla. And there is no such battery. If there was, my friend, you'd be manufacturing them, selling them to Tesla. And there is no such battery. If there was, my friend, you'd be manufacturing them, selling them to Tesla.
The ZPower, that's what it's called. If you guys haven't recognized the guy, that is Dr. Shwartz from the Philippines. I've made a previous video about this scammer. Now, the title is pretty clear. It says, free energy. Yes, free energy has been solved. 2.5 pounds device can actually power 800 watts helicopter light. And then down in the description, from someone with a Tesla avatar, obviously, whenever there is a scammer, there is a Tesla picture on it. It says, using 5 frequencies, aluminum plates, and a gold coaxial cable, this device managed to break the laws of physics many times over. Absolutely, of course. Now, the company building this device is known as the ZPower, right there in the description. Now, today what we're going to do, we're gonna take our real, actually, aircraft light, and we're gonna try to get some free energy out of this ZPower device. Let's go do it. Free energy generator, 2.5 pounds, as seen on YouTube from Dr. Shwartz. $800 watts of aircraft light, halogen. Car battery fully charged, 12 volts. Outlet. $26 pounds of power, not enough amperage. Now we're going to activate the plates and release the electron. Now, that's our free energy generator. I'm gonna sell my technology to Tesla. Oh yes.
There's no such battery. If there was, my friend, you'd be manufacturing them, selling them to Tesla, and make.
Oh, I hope you guys remember the free energy device I had a chance to debunk a few videos ago. It was made in a briefcase with a simple transformer, some circuitry, an inductance, and some mystery wires coming from a hidden compartment of this device. Well, yes, Dr. Shwartz decided to come out with a new free energy scam. At this time, it's a 2.5 pounds device that can generate about 800 watts of energy. Yeah, sure enough, Dr. Shwartz, believe it or not, is still looking for money. And as you can see, behind every single free energy claim, there is always a request of money from gullible folks. Now, what it's not requested, of course, is the participation of skeptic people. Because skeptic people ask a lot of questions. Because skeptic people are very curious. Because skeptic people use rationality and most likely are also real engineers. And if you put all these informations together, you end up Dr. Shwartz in jail because they found out this is a fraud. Now, Dr. Shwartz now takes this whole fraud to another level. And now the request of money is official. And welcome to Indiegogo. Yes, just like GoFundMe and many other money grabbing websites. This is the best place for fraudsters and scammers to actually reach out for gullibles' pockets and rip them apart, pretty much. So now, once again, Dr. Shwartz is one of them. As you can see, it's right here. That's his name. And it's his claim is a portable electromagnetic generator. That's for sure. That does not look like the previous one we just saw because this is just a new scam. Now, the concept is very simple. You just create a CGI or computer generated image of your device that does not exist. This device never built. As you can see, there is not a single video or picture of the real device simply because there is not such a device. The goal was $10,000. He was trying to reach for $10,000 and he merely got 320. Fortunately, because people end up eventually being skeptical, and obviously even if you're not an engineer, you're a little bit skeptical when someone claims that a device that it's merely 3 inches by 7 can actually generate 15,000 watts, 15 kilowatts. Now, even if it was like a nuclear device, could have produced so much power in such a little space. And also because you can just simply pull 15 kilowatts out of this plug. You just simply cannot. It's physically impossible. Even if this was the real device, it is simply impossible to pull 15 kilowatts out of this device in every other way. So, and it's obviously like a fake image. In this device, it's never been built. However, the goal was $10,000. And no, Dr. Shwartz, you haven't got no shitty money. $320, it's all you deserve. And along with probably 10 years in jail. And yes, yes, is there any money back guarantee? He says, yes, here, absolutely. Grab the money and go. Grab the money, close the scam, grab your money and go, as usual. Wow, did you see them? Dr. Shwartz keep looking for money. This is one step up. We're going on Indiegogo, GoFundMe. These are the best place where you find where all the free energy generator and claims nest. So there is a never delivery, but only a request of money. Always money. At this time we see this electromagnetic generator that's supposed to be only 7 inches in size, but generate over 15,000 watts. 15 kilowatts in 7 inches device. Yeah, for sure. How gullible you wanna be? Come on now.
It's 12 volt, 800
Watts.
watts. So it's pretty heavy. Now, what I did was I took I burned out the 12-volt bulb, and all I had was a 24.
Okay.
So I put a 24 in there.
Okay.
So I put a 24 in there.
Okay.
So I put a 24 in there.
Right.
The light won't light up.
Okay.
It won't. Not enough amperage.
Okay.
The
Right.
light won't light up.
Okay.
It won't. Not enough amperage.
You've got a 800 watts rated 12 volts helicopter light. And then Dr. Shwartz quickly replaced the light bulb with a 24 volts and plug it into a 12 volts car battery. How do you expect that thing to work? Now, if it's really rated 800 watts, out of 12 volts, we've got 66 amps consumption. If it's a 24 volts, our current rating will be about roughly 33 amps, which of both of them, any car battery can at least provide. Despite this is one of the smallest one. So, this device, it is obviously a fraud.
There's 36 pounds of power there. There's 36 pounds of power there.
26 pounds of power. What the hell does that mean? That is the most unprofessional sentence ever heard from anyone. 26 pounds of power. We don't use pounds to measure electrical power. We use pounds to measure mass and weight. Yes, so for instance, if the battery was made out of paper or simple lithium, it would be much less, much lighter. So we would sell like 3 pounds of energy, 3 pounds of power, 5 pounds of power. What does that mean? It means absolutely nothing. We do not measure electrical energy with pounds, and not even kilos for that matter. However, this is the most unprofessional bullshit I ever heard in my life.
Sing like that. Where is it? Yeah, here it is.
Now, my question is very simple. Can you actually trust someone who claims or just made a free energy generator by breaking all the fundamental laws of physics many times over, but he doesn't know how to use a simple plug?
Now,
Okay.
now let's start sending those 5 frequencies to the board.
Okay.
They alternate at different time cycles.
Okay.
As soon as I activate the plates, we free the electrons. As soon as I activate the plates, we free the electrons.
We are going to generate a frequency to activate the plates and release the electrons. That's how you get your free energy. Now, if you're using BJTs, if you're using a quartz, if you're using MOSFETs, now if you're using a fully integrated function generator, they all have something in common. They require energy to work. So you must have a source of energy to create a function. Any function, any wave form. Now this is obvious that Dr. Shwartz is too busy making money to tell us and show us where the source of energy is from. For sure there is a battery hidden somewhere. Once again, Dr. Shwartz is too busy to show us how that device works.
Yeah, okay.
Hold it up for.
Yeah, well, let's
Okay.
put it here now.
Sure.
Now, what do you got?
Yep.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Now,
You see, nowadays we've got so much professional instrumentation and precise and calibrated that can pull so much information out of any analysis or even a small, simple circuit. But behind every free energy claim, there is always and only a multimeter. Yes. Tell me, can you see anything out of this picture? Can you really read any information out of this display? No, you cannot. Because this guy is proving he's got a free energy generator in a living room. And it's so dark you can't see anything.
explaining this, the easiest way for a person that don't have knowledge, of course, you know, but people without knowledge, I say it's like AC, DC. DC, you have to have real heavy wire. AC, you can have real small wires. It's the alternating current.
Okay.
Well, this
No. Wait, what? So you're telling me that this cable and this cable can carry the same current as long as this one is AC and this one is DC? Is that correct? Oh, Dr. Shwartz, that's not how physics works. We do not size our cable according to their waveform. We size our cable according to their current, how much current they have to carry. Whenever you build a house and you have an electrical box, you need to size your cable. There is an international and American chart. Yes, international and American chart. You can actually consult it. And no, we don't have a specific chart for AC or DC. Obviously, we're not. Now, there is always an energy loss, no matter if you have AC or DC. Well, we have a skin effect, as mentioned before, on the AC. The charge itself prefers to travel outside our conductor. Now, the higher is the frequency, obviously, the more the skin effect is present and visible. Now, obviously, whenever we have a skin effect, we have an unutilized piece of volume inside the cable. So that is the problem, yes. So what happens is that you need to size up the cable in order for this charge to have more surface and volume around the conductor. Otherwise, this conductor can really heat up and cause big problems. To the other side, we have a DC where the charge prefers to travel inside the conductor. To the other side, there is still energy loss. Yes, just because we're talking about current. So now we have an internal resistance that really causes an energy loss. Once again, you need to size up the cable if it starts to heat up. Now, there is also, in between many effects in physics we also have another one, it's called proximity effect. Now, if you have two identical cables that carry the same currents, yes, and they generate a magnetic field, just like two magnets, they try to repel each other, the charges. Yes, because they are carrying the same currents. Now, the charges, they prefer to spread apart, as you can see. And once again, yes, they can cause this cable to heat up. Yes, once again, we do not size our cable, once again, to our waveform. We size our cable according to how much charge wants to travel through the conductor. That's what we call current. Dr. Shwartz, stop this cam, please.
here is it acts like DC and it acts like AC.
Yeah.
It's not either one. This here is it acts like DC and it acts like AC.
Yeah.
It's not either one. This here is it acts like DC and it acts like AC.
Yeah.
It's not either one.
He acts as a AC and he acts also as a DC, but it's neither one of them. Dr. Shwartz, you got a free energy generator. Nowadays we have some serious technology going on, and it's called oscilloscope. It's very cheap nowadays. All you have to do is just to plug it in and show us what kind of waveform you got without guessing.
There's no such battery. If there was, my friend, you'd be manufacturing them, selling them to Tesla. And there's no such battery. If there was, my friend, you'd be manufacturing them, selling them to Tesla. And there's no such battery. If there was, my friend, you'd be manufacturing them, selling them to Tesla. And
There is no such a battery. If you had that technology, you would have sold it to Tesla. I'm going to sell it now.
Here, as you can see, very, very light. Very light. Has practically no weight to it. But there's plenty of energy there. Now, as I run this up the rod, you can see.
Let me get a little closer there. Okay.
These are Christmas tree lights. 110 volt. Christmas
One of the first free energy claim from Dr. Shwartz is actually dated back in the 90s, believe it or not, with some weird magical rods.
It's just a wooden frame. It's got a auto switch on it right here, an automobile switch, which,
I'm going to get closer.
okay, turns it off and on. I put a cover over it, a jar, to protect it. Now, it's compressed. The material in this is made of, one rod is made of 73 different elements. The other side is made of 74 elements. There's one additional element, and that's why one is negative and one is positive. Now, as I run this up the rod, you can see.
Let me get a little closer there, okay.
These are Christmas tree lights. 110 volt. These are Christmas tree lights. 110 volt. These are Christmas tree lights. 110 volt. These are Christmas tree lights. 110 volt.
As you can see and claimed from Dr. Shwartz, this simple device is made out of 2 rods, and they are respectively 74 and 73 elements. In the whole periodic table of the elements, there are just about 118. So Dr. Shwartz used almost all of them to make these rods. There is just a little problem with them, is that you cannot physically mix 73 elements of the periodic table, just because they simply don't share the physical characteristic with them. They simply don't mix together. It's impossible to mix over 74 elements in the whole periodic table just to make your rods. It's physically impossible. They have physical properties completely different, and they most likely don't even mix together. So, but what really surprised me the most is that Dr. Shwartz, after claiming that light, it's a 110 volts Christmas light, and brushing through the rod lights up. But a few seconds later, he's gonna go ahead and touch those rods with his hand without getting shocked. Wow, that's what really shocks me the most.
It causes electrons to build up. One builds up electrons. The other side is made of 74 elements.
As you can see, if you pay attention to these free energy claims, all of them, you'll find out that are all fraud and scam.
Auto switch on it right here, an automobile switch, which it's got the auto switch on it right here, an automobile switch, which it's got the auto switch on it right here, an automobile switch, which
This is another absolutely nonsense feature of this beautiful free energy machine. Now, we are talking about the most elementary circuit you can build, which is a current generator, a switch, and a load. In this particular case, it's a Christmas light. What Dr. Shwartz does, it takes the light bulb and brushes it over our rods or a free energy source. So you pretty much remove the switch and connect the light bulb straight up to the rods or our current source. So what you need the switch for? Now you tell me, why Dr. Shwartz added a switch for? What is that for? Let me guess what? Hidden batteries? Yes! And yeah, thank you guys for watching.